The freaking audacity. Did you know uh, that Ryan Reynolds used to contribute like to articles in the Huffington Post? I didn't either. Somebody kindly pointed me in that direction. I was like, no way, no way. Oh, yeah, he did. He sure did. Let's read his little article, okay? The Clown God. No matter what consequences followed our misadventures, my brother was forever willing to laugh at himself, provided no one else laughed first, as though he wanted stock options in his own humiliation. By Ryan Reynolds, contributor, actor. June 12, 2007. If you can remember the movie A Christmas Story, which plays in concert with every holiday season starring a tow-headed, four-eyed boy named Peter Billingsley. His character Ralphie bears an uncanny resemblance to my brother at that age. I love this movie, but that's not important now, right now. As a kid, hanging out with my brother, I often felt accomplice to a very low brow style of vaudevillian crime. What? Come again? My friends and I were eternally caught in the crossfire of his evermore spectacular stupidity. As if by magic, he could transform a simple trip to grandma's house into a felony. What? While simultaneously he could have you rolling on the ground with his unique brand of electric hilarity. He once set fire to a tree at the site of our elementary school, and in an aborted attempt to extinguish the rapidly spreading structure fire. Wait, they were witnessing this? Oh my gosh. Like, what am I reading, dear God? Fled to retrieve water in the burning school. Needless to say, he was apprehended almost immediately, invariably punctuating each stunt by flashing me a look of heartbreaking bewilderment. Ryan, I'm such an idiot, he'd say in his imploring tone. Ryan, I'm so dead, or Ryan, I'm in so much trouble. As though these declarations would somehow turn back time or rescue him from whatever punishment lay in waiting. With that pair of crooked Coke bottle glasses perched on his nose, his face begat a sympathetic quality impossible to ignore. He was almost adorable in his mismanaged existence. Wait, is he blaming the brother? Was there an arrest? Because the article from Canada, I don't I need to go read that again. But I believe that he admitted to setting fire to the school. Him, not the brother. What is going on here? Before becoming successful, strong-willed rock he is today, Gordy was a socially awkward kid. He didn't have many friends back in the day and found himself related to more to my gang, 2 years his junior. His character was divided between a wellspring of innocence and an evil Knievel like fearlessness that seemingly had no limits. Around my friends, the desire to impress brought these two opposing traits into a kind of crude harmony, the results of which were often memorable for me and deeply embarrassing for my father, who had the temperament and patience of a landmine. Yet, no matter what the consequences followed our misadventures, my brother was forever willing to laugh at himself, provided no one else laughed first, as though he wanted stock options in his own humiliation. On the surface, he seemed a black cat outlaw. If he crossed your path, there's a good chance you're freaked. But to me, he was also a hero, a clown god. As was tradition each Halloween, we would accumulate an arsenal of illegally purchased firecrackers and smoke bombs from the local Indian reservation and wander through neighborhoods in search of trouble. A particular Halloween that remains fond in memory was 1988. I was 11 years old and Gordy was at his havoc wrecking peak. Shortly after depleting our stash of cherry bombs and mighty mites in surrounding mailboxes, homes, and slow running civil servants, he came upon what appeared to be the mother of all dog turds, left by what seemed to be some sort of supernatural Great Dane, or perhaps something even bigger did this. It was huge and not at all congealed. Ew. My friends and I sidestepped the rancid pool of festering horror and kept walking. Why wouldn't we? You know, childishly crack wise about and forget. But not for Gordy. No, to him it was the mother lode, a munificent holy grail of prepubescent anarchy. As far as he was concerned, we may have been staring at an alarmingly large pile of excrement, but what he was staring at was greatness. Unfortunately, we were fresh out of firecrackers, save for one precious mighty mite residing in my brother's right breast pocket. He removed it with a care and delicacy reserved for such an auspicious discovery, placing it with pride in the center of the specimen. Oh, I guess like in the dog poo pile. My friends and I giddily watched from a safe distance as Gordy pushed the glasses up the bridge of his sweaty nose, carefully lit the fuse, and awkwardly fled for cover. But sadly, no explosion followed. No horrible shitstorm, nothing. Moments later, Gordy returned to the extinguished fuse, which, despite repeated attempts, wouldn't stay lit in the damp Vancouver air. Our time was running out, was surely on the table by now, and experience had taught us not to be late. Surrendering to the reality we may not bear witness to his final act of small minded lawlessness, Gordon moved on without even a flicker of reason. He continued obsessively so, lighting the moist fuse until it looked like a tiny pimple atop of a giant volcano of ass. Like, Huffington Post? What the freak? Are there no editors? Oh my gosh. The obvious dangers of igniting a fuse so short miraculously lost on him, and it was that day, the precise moment, I remember for the first time grappling with the dual factions of my nature. The side of me that wanted to be a decent brother and tell him to forget about it, lived to fight another day, and this one darker, more devilish side that just wanted to see something awful. It was also that day the dark side won. Oh my gosh, what happened? My brother had been dealt a lot of tough cards in life, yet it was as though in this moment he just kept telling the dealer, hit me. As I remember it, I sort of sat there watching stupidity in perfect harmony with conviction while the following unfolded in slow motion. Pressing the lighter to the fuse, his mouth left dangerously agape in its unusual slack jawed indignity. The scene scored perfectly with the nauseating music of anticipation. He gave it one more try. An agonizing second later, the firecracker, along with Gordy, saw its destiny in one swift, undeniable explosion delivered straight from hell itself. This thing didn't simply explode. No, as if guided by the rectum of God, every last fleck of feces coated my brother from head to toe, including the back of his throat, left brilliantly exposed to the hurling ocean of diarrhea. He stood there motionless, still hunched over with the lighter, and his hand looking like a duped again wily coyote. He removed his glasses, and what remained there were two perfect circles of white skin, broken only by a single shocked tear rolling down a freshly painted cheek. There's more, guys. We're gonna have to do a part two, so stay tuned.